Hello and welcome. My name's Kathy A. and today I'm going to do a special on Physicians Formula. This is a brand that you can find in drugstores around the US and it's very popular. It's a little on the pricey side and they have some unusual products and some very good products, in some cases excellent products. I'm going to do a full face tutorial on the brand, and I'm actually not taking my hair down today because I just don't feel like dealing with it. It's kind of warm out and I'm hungover. So it'll make a better before and after picture from my thumbnail anyway. So first I want to give you a little bit of history on the company because that's kind of interesting, and then when we come back from that I'll do a full face tutorial.
The Physicians Formula story begins in 1937 with a real physician. Dr. Frank Crandall was an allergist, and his wife Eleanor had terribly sensitive skin, and she was unable to wear the popular cosmetics that were available in the 1930s, so he decided to develop a line of makeup just for her. Dr. Crandall sold these hypoallergenic cosmetics to his patients, and one of his most famous was Mae West. Dr. Crandall truly believed that what goes on your body goes in your body through absorption, and unlike other cosmetics available at the time, his cosmetics were free of all of the 132 irritants and ingredients that could be harmful. One is talc, and talc is very controversial because it has asbestos in it and has been linked with certain cancers. Of course, we know it as a diaper rash preventative, and it's still used commonly today, so people don't take it that serious, but it's really important that it not be in your cosmetics. So Physicians Formula does not have talc in any of their cosmetics. An ingredient he did actually introduce to cosmetics was SPF. With this ingredient, he would help prevent terrible sunburns and help the skin survive sun damage. Also, he created bronzers for those of his clients who wanted to go out in the sun to get tans. He thought it would reduce their time out in the sun and thus cause less skin damage. The cosmetics are also cruelty-free. There's never animal testing done. Other doctors also recommended Dr. Crandall's products, which were known as the Physicians Formula line, and the company grew by leaps and bounds and started to distribute to all the neighboring states around California, became quite popular. In the 1940s, Dr. Crandall served on the medical corps in the military, and when he returned, he wrote a book called It's an Allergy, and he wrote many articles for medical journals and publications. Dr. Crandall had 2 daughters with his first wife, but he remarried, and his second wife soon, unfortunately, became a widow. Dr. Crandall died in 1953, and his widow, who had now the responsibility of the company, sold it in 1961. Now, it changed hands several times over the past couple of decades, but it wound up developing more products in its skincare line and its makeup line. And in 1988, when it was being acquired again by another company, there was a lawsuit. Physicians and Surgeons soap, which had been around since the 1888, was being placed near the Physicians Formula line, and this trademark was confusing consumers, and they were buying the inferior products of Physicians and Surgeons, and it was getting confused with Physicians Formula. The judge ruled in favor of Physicians Formula, and Physicians and Surgeons had to take their seal off of the soap. In 2012, Marquins International purchased Physicians Formula. Marquins also owns Wet n Wild and Black Radiance and other cosmetic companies, and they were quite eager to expand the Physicians Formula line. The skincare focuses on skin imperfections, aging, dry skin, and hormonal issues, and the makeup line actually is expanding greatly. They're coming up with bright new, fun themes, and they were the first to come out with a truly organic line of makeup with 100% organic ingredients. They were also the first to come out with biodegradable packaging. The Bamboo Wear line is all packaging that is biodegradable. The mineral wear foundations and powders and color correctors are all talc-free. And the Shimmer Strips line of eyeliners and blushes and eyeshadows are groundbreaking. The new Super BB creams replace foundation and moisturizer, and the new CC creams are quite highly rated and will be popular this summer, I'm sure. They also have the pH Matchmaker line with the lighted lip gloss, and we have, of course, the sexy Vava Voom line and the nude wear. New to the line is the new Youthful Wear, which has wonderful foundations and concealers, and of course all new shimmer strips with great new packaging and color correctors in both a liquid form and in powder format. And they always will have great bronzers and face powders and blushes. The nail polishes are great, and Physicians Formula continues to make innovative hypoallergenic products specifically for sensitive skin without the use of fragrance, PABA, or any of the other skin irritants known to humans. Many modern-day physicians still recommend Physicians Formula to their patients. They're the 7th largest face and makeup brand in the U.S., and Dr. Crandall really did change the face of cosmetics forever.
Now, wasn't that interesting? Now, you learn more about talc than a person should know, probably, but I really thought that was interesting how they were kind of the first company to introduce a lot of things. And they're actually a very important cosmetic company, so I feel good now about buying all the stuff that I bought to do this tutorial coming up. So, I've just left my hair up, and I'm going to start. I had a moisturized face. I had used a Glam Glow prior to doing this, so my skin was in fairly good condition. I used Glam Glow, and then I had a Hava moisturizer on, and then I started off with the primer that they have. So everything went on pretty well, and it's lasted pretty well. I've had really good luck with it over the course of the week. I've been very happy with the products for the most part. But let you see for yourself, and we'll start the tutorial. So through the magic of video, let's go back in time, and here we go. See you soon.
Okay, to begin, we're going to start off with the Mineral Wear Correcting Primer, and this is the one in pink. I believe there's also a nude one and a green one. I'm having a little trouble getting it out of the package. There we go. And all the stuff was squirted up into the cap. So I'm trying to clean off the brush. The brush has 3 colors, and it only comes out pink though. And I'm having an awful time getting anything out because it looks like whoever used it in the store squeezed most of it out. So I'm just putting what I can find on, and this is a face primer. There's a slight smell to it. I'm just going to work it in with my hands, work it over my pores. Now my skin's in fairly good condition right now because I used a Glam Glow face mask on it. Alright, next up, this is the Youthful Wear Dark Circle Corrector and Concealer in Light. Now one end is a roller ball that has yellow, and the other end is a roller ball that has nude concealer. What's neat about the roller balls is that they are cool to touch. So when you put it under your eye, it actually has a cooling sensation. It feels really neat. What's bad about the rollers is that the yellow one, there I am cooling myself, the yellow one runs out after you just put a little bit on. It seems really hard. It's almost like it's caught up under the ball. So I definitely would not recommend the roller ball. I definitely would recommend the brush style concealer because they had a nice consistency to them. Now the other end is the concealer, and it's actually the same color as the foundation, so I couldn't do that lightness in the center thing that I like to do. I'm just using a flat top foundation brush to go over the rough spots, because I'm going to go over this with some foundation afterwards. And the St. Bernard lines, a couple of the dings and dents that I've gathered over the years. Trying to pack it all up. Next is the Youthful Wear Spotless Foundation. It comes with its own little brush, and this is in light, but it's so hard. It's like a shoe brush. I'm shaking it up, getting into it. Woohoo! Okay, it's got an eyedropper. It's very thin, liquidy, watery. And I've decided not to use the crappy little brush. I'm just going to set it on one side of my skin and buff it in with my Real Techniques brush. And it has a really nice, very hydrating consistency to it. It was a real surprise. I really liked it. Taking it down my neck because the light shade is just a slight, maybe a half shade too dark for me, but I really like it. Moving on now to the other side of my face, I'm going to do in the Super BB Cream, which is new from them. It's called the All-in-One Beauty Balm Compact Cream. And it comes with its own little sponge. So I guess if you think of a beauty blender, this is like a flattened out beauty blender. It's like a beauty blender pancake. And this is not a bad consistency. It's a little shiny and greasy, but I'm going to set all of this stuff with powder. I prefer the foundation to this. This supposedly takes care of your primer, your moisturizer, your concealer, and your foundation. But I'm not sure. You definitely need a powder after this. And it's got the mirror in there. I'm just showing all the little goodies. And I'm going to pack it up like a good girl. Okay. Next is the Happy Booster Glow Blush. And this is color Rose. And I was a little nervous about this because there's a shimmer to it. And I don't like to put shimmer on as a blush. It comes with a crappy little brush, which is useless. But I have been enjoying this. I've been wearing it all week, just using a Real Techniques brush, and I'm buffing it in just to my cheeks. And it's a very nice color combination. I'm just doing a little at a time. But I really like it. It's kind of nice. And I'm doing it 10 o'clock and 2 o'clock on my eyes with it down the décolleté area there. Woohoo! Okay. Moving on. I'm packing everything up. I don't know why I'm taking this time to do that. Sorry. Now this is the Shimmer Strips Blush and Highlighter in Natural Glow. And these are pretty much identical to the ones that are in the eyeshadows, except they're whiter. So I'm just taking a little bit of the lighter too and going up on the top of my cheeks. And, you know, it's a nice sheen to there. I'm also going to use a little bit just under my eyebrows and just in the center, third eye area, just above the lips, where you would put a highlighter. That's not bad. I'm still shiny though from the BB cream, and I'm going to have to correct that. Now this is the Powder Palette Multicolored Bronzer. And this is the light bronzer shade. I'm a little disappointed in that. It does come with a brush, but I'm not going to use that one. I'm going to use my own contouring brush. This is really a bronzer that you would want to be an all-over skin enhancer rather than a contouring item. And it's very powdery. Taking out some of my double and triple chins. And you can also use that as an eyeshadow or a contour, individually picking out some of the colors that are in that palette. I love a multitask product, and a lot of these kind of things have that in them. Now I'm really shiny, so I'm going to use the Mineral Wear Face Powder in Translucent Light. This is actually thick enough it could actually be a powder foundation, but it's not marketed that way. I'm just using a little puff, and I'm pressing it into the really kind of shiny areas on my skin. The sun keeps going in and out through the door. That's why the colors keep changing. I keep getting brighter. I really like this powder. It's got a really nice fine consistency, and it is talc free, as we learned is a bad thing. Well, talc free is a good thing. Okay, next in line we're going to use the Mineral Wear. This is the face powder, some mineral foundation. Comes with its own little kabuki brush, but it's too small and too stiff. So I'm going to pour some into the cap, and I'm going to use my own large flat top kabuki brush from Mary Kay. Get all that excess powder off of there. Whoa, it's a little dust storm, huh? I'm just going over my whole face with this just so you can see the effect of it, because it's really nice. I was pleasantly surprised. There is no shimmer, glimmer, sparkle, or anything. It's just a beautiful, natural looking finish. I had used this years ago and I liked it, but you know, over time, it just took care of an age spot right there. I mean, it's really a nice product. I really like it. I'm so glad I found it again. And I'm putting it all back together and back into the box, but I'm not going to return that. Now, we are going back and putting a little more blush on because I just took out all the color in my face, putting that powder on, just a little touch of color. And this Happy Booster is a happy thing. I like it. Alright, now I'm going to check for all the dings and dents, see where it filled in lines and wrinkles and all along the edge. I found little pieces of one of the brushes I used. But I'm pretty happy with the look. Now we're going into the eyes. This is the Nude Eyes Shimmer Palette. And this actually has 9 colors in it. And they're grouped by threes. And a lot of people don't discuss this, but they call it the 3x for a reason. The first 3 are together, second 3 together, third 3 together. So there's 3 groups of 3s. They want you to use them in sets. So there's a party set, a playful set, and a smoky set. And I am using the just a little bit on the bottom. I think most people ignore instructions like that. They also have for hazel eyes, for blue eyes, for brown eyes, and everybody ignores that as well. So you just kind of grab the colors you want in there. And I'm just using some of the taupey shimmer underneath my eye. I like kind of a light shimmer underneath my eye. And I'm using some of the darker, almost as a liner on the edge. And going into some of the lighter shades. You know how I like to do dibs and dabbles. Now I've gone into that kind of black color at the end, and it's almost a matte, but it's more of a charcoal color for an eye definition. Now it's very shimmery, and I want some matte stuff going on, so I'm gonna use my old classic Canyon Classic. I'm hit pan on the yellow on that. I'm using that just under the brow and also on the inner tear duct corners. It really makes your eyes pop. I just love this palette. I just think it can do no wrong. Now those 2 colors that are kind of the medium browns, one's slightly warmer than the other, but they both kind of mix together, so I just blend them together. There's really hardly any difference in them. Now I'm going to blend so it's not quite so harsh. It's okay to use your fingers sometimes. This is one of my favorite eyeshadow palettes of all time. This is my go-to many times. I would just grab this. It's so easy because you can do a full smoky eye with it. And it's matte. It's very age-friendly. So if you're over 45, you should really have this palette in your makeup collection. Because you can see I can go a little bit more dramatic with it. And I'm just blending it out with a brush that has no color on it, just to blend it out. Moving on, this is another Shimmer Strips combination called Pop, and that's a series they came out with that had a little bit wilder colors. These colors are all kind of rose-toned and mauve toned. Again, they have the 3 sets, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and there's playful, smoky, and whatever. And there's the little thing that comes with it. It's a slanted, very hard sponge tip applicator. So I'm just taking that raspberry color at the end that does look like Max Raspberry, and I'm just putting it in at the end. It gives a whole different look to the base makeup that I put on. So I'm just taking different colors and trying them here and there. Right there in the center I'm using that kind of brighter dark magenta. And I'm going to take my finger with the pink and go in the transition area, which is just between the dark and the light of my brow. I'm just putting a little stripe of kind of pink there. And I always like to hit the center tear duct with a lighter shade. So that wasn't bad, that Pop. That was for hazel eyes, they said. Now I'm using the Canyon Classics, and I'm using the browns to fill in my eyebrows. They do have some really good eyebrow products, but I couldn't find them in any of the stores that were near me, so I always don't mind using a light medium brown for my eyebrows. I'm not an eyebrow person. Now these two sticks came in a set of 3 for brown eyes, it's called. One's a medium brown color, which is what I'm using right on my lash line. Just going 1/3 of the way in underneath on the bottom line. And the darker one I'm just going to draw with because I like it, but these liners last. I mean, you cannot get them off. Now here's an eye booster. This is a felt tip liner in smoky gray. Not really sure what I'm going to do with it yet, but I think I'll probably just put it, see if I can put it on the lower lid. Now I'm shaking it up, and Emily Noel said you should really store these on their side, not straight up and down, because they're very awkward with how they distribute. They get dry really quick. Now I'm using this on my waterline on my lower eyes, and it's not really coming out that great, so I'm going to try it on the upper lid. I always just kind of wing it. I play around with makeup. I guess that's what playing with makeup is. Now I'm wiping excess off of my cheeks. There was some fallout from all those shadows. Alright, we've moved on. We're going to Va Va Voom Mascara. First I'm going to curl my lashes, and I do about 8 seconds on each side. This is the Sexy Booster series that they came out with recently with all the cute packaging. The Va Va Voom Mascara is supposed to give you great volume, curl, and length once you can get it out of the package. I love the little shoe decoration, and there's lace around the edge. And it's a big old honkin' fat caterpillar-like wand, which is not so much fun. It's a dry formula, so it takes an awful lot to get it to really show up on your lashes. I would say 4 coats just to get it to look okay. And when you can take something like a CoverGirl Clump Crusher or something like that, or Maybelline's The Rocket, and just do 1 coat and come up with something much better, this is really annoying. Plus, it's so big that you can't get into the smaller ends of your lashes, and it's just disappointing. It's going back to CVS. I've never had good luck with Physicians Formula mascaras. I'm just using a spoolie with nothing on it just to fix my brows and my lashes. Now I'm going in with a liquid eyeliner. This is metallic black. I'm shaking it up, digging it. That's my only exercise for today, by the way. Okay, now that's a kind of a sharper kind of a point. So I'm just going up. I'm going to slightly wing it up, and I'm going to smudge it with a smudge brush. So I'm just going up a little bit on the ends just to make a little bit. I actually do maybe a slight slant, like a seesaw slant on it. You have to when you have hooded eyes because the little slant disappears. Not that impressed with it. So I'm just using the smudge brush now, and I'm smudging it out so it's not a rough, stark little line, and it looks a little more natural. Well, as unnatural as makeup looks, it looks a little more naturally put there. So that's not too bad. Okay, time for lips, and this is one of my toys. I absolutely had a ball with this. This is the pH Match Maker Lip Gloss, and the color is light pink. It's got a mirror on the side, so I just check my teeth. Now, you push the end of it, woo, you get a light. There you go. Woohoo! Oh, this is fun. Okay. It is very awkward, though. I mean, if you drop your keys in the night, or if you are in your makeup table and you drop something down under your makeup table, this would be good for that. But I actually found it harder to put on my lip gloss with the light on than just normal. So, it's a lot of fun. You can have, see, okay. Yeah, I like it better without the light. Now this reminds me of that IT Cosmetics lip gloss that goes on clear and then turns fuchsia pink. There's very little difference in those two. Now my nails. Here we go. This is the Endless Color nail polish, and there's actually several colors of them. I think Target carries them. It's hard to find them, and here we are.
So there you have it. That is the Physicians Formula tutorial. I hope you enjoyed it. I tried to use as many products as possible, and I have to say, they've got some really good products in the line. Challenging was this eyeshadow palette, because when I initially tested all of these colors, they looked like slight variants of each other, very shimmery. See that shimmer? And of course you can't use shimmer in your crease, so I needed to use a matte shade, which is my tried and true Canyon Classics. These are all matte, but these can be kind of boring for some people because they like to have a little bit of spark to them. And so I just kind of kicked it up a little by using some of both. And then this pop palette, which I found in a discount house, so it must be either discontinued or they're changing their packaging, I don't know, but this pop palette was kind of interesting. I think it's in pinks. But there's like some dupes in here. This is MAC Raspberry. And then there's some like Urban Decay-ish kind of coloring in here for the kind of the rose thing. I mean, you can have fun with these colors and just kind of, you know, play around with them. You know how I like to layer colors on everything, so. I mean, you could really do a really pretty, you know, you can really updo this a lot. So one of the biggest disappointments was actually the mascara. I think that I have not found a Physicians Formula mascara that I really like, and this is the newest in the long line of fails there. I have not found one, and I know that Tati, who she does an incredible YouTube video series, and she loves this stuff. She loves, not this particular one, she likes the Organics, the green one. Yeah, that's her favorite, and she just loves that mascara. And when I bought it, I didn't like it, so I'm real picky. I like big honking lashes, so that's probably part of the problem. But what doing this research for this show did for me was made me want to revisit all the powders and the blushers and the bronzers and things like that. And this was a wonderful surprise. The Mineral Wear Loose Foundation. I'm not a Bare Essentials person because I can't stand to have that shimmer sinking into my wrinkles. When I put this on, even over the top of foundation, instead of a cupcake look, you know, that cupcake icing look with the broken cracks and stuff in it, this just smoothed everything all out, and it looked very natural. I really like this. You could use this as a standalone foundation. It was absolutely wonderful. And this is the color Light, Translucent Light, and it just worked beautifully. So this is a new happy find, a new discovery. I used it years ago, and you know, from doing everything else and trying everything else. Also too, this could be used as a foundation. This is the Mineral Wear Face Powder. That went on just so smoothly and so wonderfully. And the big disappointment, probably, I'm not that crazy about the bronzer. I had heard other things about some of the other bronzers. I might try them, but I don't want a lot of shimmer or glow in my bronzer. So now the BB cream, the Super BB series has the BB cream, and there's a Super CC cream as well. The CC cream in the tube got high ratings, but not in the compact. This also got high ratings in the tube, but not in the compact. So I'm thinking that there's something, you know, it's kind of a greasy formula. It made me very shiny, but you know, I have two different foundations on, and they blend quite well. I didn't see any problems with this at all, except that it was a little shiny. But if this has all the benefits, and it's supposed to replace your moisturizer, in your concealer and your primer and everything else, it's supposed to be everything, but I don't think so. This was a total disappointment. This stupid roller ball thingy is going back to CVS. I don't care what they say. I don't care what they point fingers at me when I leave. This was awful. The concealer and yellow duo that comes with brushes is the one that I would recommend for you, rather than these roller balls seem to turn themselves off. I don't know if it's because they've got products stuck in them, but I couldn't get product out of them. And also the the concealer that's called Nude is actually darker than my foundation was. I actually think the foundation is either the same stuff or it's slightly lighter, but I would never buy the concealer in this because it's just so dark, so they really need to kind of straighten that out. The Eye Booster pen went on harsh. It was a rocky road to love on there, you know, going over all the ridges and wrinkles of my eyes, so I didn't really like this very much. Only slightly better was the little eyeliner, which, you know, it winged out nicely, and I did smush it out a little bit with a smudgy brush, which helped it a little bit set. So, you know, all in all, it came out fairly nicely. This is a great toy. I'm not sure I'm crazy about this color, but very moisturizing. It does stay on for a little while. I like the mirror. I love the light, and I think the light could come in handy for other things. You know, you could do, you know, you could find your keys in your purse, or, you know, if you drop your makeup under your makeup counter, you put this on and you can find it. Or you can, you know, if you blow a fuse in the house, you can go and find the fuse box and find the right one. I just thought that that was a very, very clever little addition. So that pretty much does it for me. I hope you've enjoyed the Physicians Formula Special. It was a lot of fun bringing this to you, and doing the research on it was a lot of fun. Happy Booster is staying. The rest are going back probably. Really enjoyed this, and I love doing these kind of things. So let me know if there's a particular brand that you're interested in, and I'll see if I can do a special on that brand. So until next time, everybody, have a beautiful day. Take care. Toodles.